Okay, looks like we're live, and it looks like you're getting a look at my t-shirt, or it looks like you just got a look at my t-shirt. Sorry, I'm seeing a delayed response, so keep me updated with what you guys are seeing. Okay, so it's 7:30, and we are ready to rock and roll. So first off, I've got to make an apology. I had a little bit of a complaint from one of you guys from last night's show. I did suggest watching The Search for Animal Chin, a mid-80s skateboarding film, and apparently at least one of you did, and said their comment was, "I'm not getting that hour back." Well, I'm sorry. I did suggest you could watch it, but I didn't. I did warn you. What can I say? I've warned you. It's not the best film in the world, but it's a throwback to what inspired me to create a NoTanx as it is, as a club where we go in search of things, and actually when we find things, that's not the goal. The goal's to spend some time with friends and go looking for things. And so on that, I'm wearing a Perseus t-shirt. So you can see the Perseus t-shirt designed by Kiri. So we went on an expedition last year to try and freedive HMS Perseus, which we successfully did. And we're going back again this year to, how can I say, get the system a little bit smoother. So we did actually dive on the Perseus, which was a Second World War English submarine. It was sunk off the southern coast of Kefalonia. It was at the surface, poodling along, regenerating. It was a diesel submarine. So they had to come to the surface to run the diesel engines to charge the batteries, so that when they're underwater they can run silent mode or run on the batteries. So they were at the surface and they hit an Italian mine and sunk and lost all hands except one, a guy who escaped from the bottom. Luckily the sub landed at the bottom seabed somewhere between 50-55 meters, and he escaped and got away from the boat, made it to the surface, and took a long time, 18 months, getting back to English-held land. But for us, the interesting thing was trying to freedive this place. So we knew about the wreck, we knew roughly where it was, but we went on a long journey. It took nearly a year for us to locate it exactly, find somebody who can give us exact coordinates, and then work out a way that we could actually freedive it. And we took a crack team of people to do it, and we managed it. But it was a whole year of planning and practicing and working out the equipment that we needed. And there is a video. I'll put a link below. Let me make a note of that because I keep forgetting to put these links in. Yeah, I'll put a link in the description when this goes on YouTube to one of our videos, which shows us freediving on the Perseus. And it's interesting because when you see people, when people see my video of us freediving, some people, I'm not going to say everybody, some people, "Oh, haven't you got a better footage? Haven't you got a better photograph? Is that the best you've got?" And you start to question why we were doing the expedition at all. And it's when you're with friends, when we're the guys on the boat, getting excited about possibly seeing it the next day, or getting frustrated by the weather conditions that aren't allowing us to dive. It's easy to get into that moment, into that spirit of expedition, in the spirit of going to find Animal Chin, as it were. But when we come back and it's all done and dusted, and people say, "Yeah, haven't you got a better photograph?" Well, yeah, that's kind of not why we did it. That was and objective. But finding it was the interesting thing for us, and we did find it, and it was interesting finding it. The fact that it's really deep and very hard to find at the bottom of the ocean, it kind of means it's very hard to dive it, let alone freedive it, let alone freedive it close enough to get a camera, a photo of it. It's just incredible. And then people say, "Oh, didn't you get a better photo?" No, not really. Kind of a fairly limited amount of time down there. And so so the motivation for us is the exploration, the camaraderie, and this goes back through all of our trips that we do. Last year we ran a shark hunting trip, and we've done that a few times, and the people outside the club are, "What, you're going to shoot them, you're going to spear them, you're going to catch them?" And no, we're going to hunt them. And then people who are new to the club go, "Oh, what sharks are we going to see? We're going to see this, we're going to see that." And we're like, whoa, it's highly unlikely we're going to see any sharks in Cornwall off the south coast of England. The point is, we're going to hunt them. We can guarantee we'll be doing some shark hunting. Can't guarantee the sharks. And the people who are in the club and signed up for these sort of things, they understand that it's the fun of hunting and seeing these things. And we do see sharks. We have had blue sharks and basking sharks, and we had some dogfish and hound sharks. So today, what I'm going to talk about, in fact, it's too late, I've already talked about it, motivation. And this is really interesting. What motivates you? And anybody who comes along for a one-to-one session with me or Julian or Marco, first question is, we'll just off the bat, why'd you freedive? And the second question, why'd you come to the sessions? And it's interesting what answers we get. Very interesting, because the people who have signed up for a one-to-one lesson have obviously decided they want to take another step forwards in their freediving, in their training. So we ask why, and what do you want to get out of freediving, and why do you go training, are two completely different questions, although on the surface they sound like the same. So motivation, what was the motivation of trying to find the Perseus, the HMS Perseus? The motivation was trying to find HMS Perseus, to go on a fantastic boat run by EY Sailing, so it's Panos and Elias running the yacht, and we had a great group of guys on the boat, guys and gal. So the motivation was an expedition, a trip, something that we didn't know whether we could do or not. The challenge of something that there was a fairly high percentage, good chance of failure, and that was our motivation, and that's why we kind of went there. And what did we get out of it? We got some photos, got great memories, great stories. We got some feedback, so we can go back next year or this year and try again with slightly better techniques and knowledge of the dives. Okay, so I've rewritten this as I promised I would a couple of days ago. Sorry, Arno, just couldn't read it. So internalisation, we had luck yesterday, so we got a link between these, and we're now up on motivation. Now, interestingly, that's 8 of the 10 key points, sorry. And I'm going to give you some homework. I'm going to get you to, in the comments, I want you to write the 2 words. Just pick any of the 2 words that we've done so far. So we're going to do this for the next couple of sessions. So this is session 8, 9, and then Monday will be 10. So you'll have a free range on Monday for all the words. Obviously at the moment you've only got 8 words. And I want you to write the 2 words. Just pick 2 words randomly. Don't think about it. Just pick 2 words that we've done over the past 2 weeks. And just write a brief sentence, number 1, how the first word links to the second. And the second line, how the second word links to the first. So you can do it now. You can take a pen and paper and write it down, put it in your diaries. So we're going to do that. So really want to see some nice comments when I put this up. Don't do it now because they get lost. The live chat comments get lost, unfortunately. But when I put it up, it'll be up in an hour or so. Go there, please, please, please. Start writing these kind of comments down. So you've got 8 words to choose from, and just how the first influences the second, how the second influences the first. And when I do this lecture, the best practice coaching lecture or session, it's not a lecture as such, it's a session, I'll pick the words in any order. And the joy for me is trying to say the links without involving any of the other words. We start with 1 word or 2 words, start linking them together without mentioning the other words. At the end, when we're on the 10th word, obviously we can mention them all. In these sessions, I've been mentioning the other words, just pulling them in to make a little bit of context, because obviously it's over 10 days. But in a standard session, there'll be random words out of those 10, and we're trying to link them. So that's quite a bit of homework for you to do. So going back over the other words that we've done, and we're going to finish them all on Monday. Hopefully running from Tuesday through to Friday. We've got some of the other seniors running these sessions, so we'll see. I'll let you know nearer the time who's going to be running them, so that'll be fun. So I'll put the HMAS Perseus video link. I'll lock that down so I don't forget. Okay, so what I'd like, that's key points, and I've really linked it in with the NoTanx NoTanx theories. But more than that, I really want you to think about why you freedive. Where do you want to get to? An interesting story, I was at the dive show and had a guy come up to me and he said, "Oh, do you do freediving courses?" We said, "Yes, of course we do." "Oh, my son wants to do it. He's done his IATA 2-star and he wants to do his IATA 3-star. Can you do that? Can we sign him up for the IATA 3-star?" I went, "Oh, why does he want to do his IATA 3-star?" "Oh, because he wants to kind of progress and get on." I went, "Okay, is he going to stop over his IATA 3-star?" And the bloke looked at me and went, No, why?" "I don't know. So why does he want to freedive? It's the IATA 3-star's not his end goal. So why does he want to freedive?" "Oh, well, because," and it's an interesting question because it wasn't to the guy actually doing it; it was to his dad. And it was interesting that his dad didn't know why his son wanted to freedive. He just knew this kind of context of the next course and the next course and the next course, which is absolutely fine. You can get your certificates, you can get them signed off. That's absolutely fine. But without the idea of why you're freediving, you're going to run out of courses quite quick. And then what do you do? Then do you stop? Do you quit? You have to think about what you're doing it for. So I get people to think quite early on, why do you freedive? What do you want to get out of it? And then why do you come to the club sessions? And as soon as you start thinking about why do you come to the club sessions, you can really develop those aspects of your training. So just going to look over at the NoTanx words, because we're talking about NoTanx now. So the 10 aspects of freedive training, the way we split it up. So we should, in theory, only have 3 words left. So we've done adaptation stretching. We've done, did we do physical cardio? I think we haven't. That's the one that I was missing earlier when I thought about it. So we'll go through that now. So physical cardio. So physical is the area, and we're looking at specifically at cardio. Now, since we finished the NoTanx system, the NTX system, in 2008, we my concept of cardio exercise has changed, and this has changed in line with maybe my personal understanding of physiology and physical training, but also I think the group of people that I'm hanging around with, their understanding. So when we talk about cardio training, I defer to people who know more about it than me. So that's Tom. If you had one of our strength and conditioning sessions last year, you would have had it with Tom. If you have it this year, you'll have it with Chaz. They both work together. I just wanted to mix it up a bit, so that if you had a session last year and you get a session, that's for if you've paid for your NoTanx membership and you pay up in March, you get a free strength and conditioning session with either Tom or Chaz. And these guys work in a very high level gym called Bounce, based in Wimbledon. That it's a recovery gym. They work with Harlequins and other high-level sporting athletes. And I defer to their knowledge when it comes to physical training, strength and conditioning, etc., etc. And my understanding, which has kind of filtered down from these guys, is that let's start with the old understanding, the general understanding, the understanding that most people have of cardio. Cardio, they think, is just cardio. You can get cardio fitness by running, by cycling, by jumping, and that's it. How fit you are, how quick your heart rate goes up, or how high you can maintain it, and how quick it comes down afterwards. Your VO2 max, what your body can do in a cardio workout. But it's not quite that simple. Cardio has been proven to be very, very specific. So if you can get somebody who's super good at, say, jiu-jitsu, which is a complete body workout, or judo, complete body workout, where they're using their entire body for long training sessions, but they can't run. They go running, knackered. Equally well, you get a cyclist, super strong cyclist who can cycle, super long distances, high speeds, etc. Really hard working, and then they do something else like caving, which is again an all body general movement activity, and they look unfit. Not as unfit as somebody who is not good at a cardio exercise. Don't get me wrong. Okay, if you can run, jump, cycle, especially in the situation we find ourselves now, any exercise is good exercise. But if you can run a marathon, doesn't mean to say it doesn't translate as much as we believed to other exercises. So I personally really encourage people to have a cardio exercise regime, if that's the right word, or basically another hobby outside freediving that can take them away from freediving, even if they're thinking as they're doing it, I'm doing this for freediving, whether it's cycling, running, rugby, whatever it is. Because you're going to be training things that you won't get in a freediving session, then this is going to make you stronger as a person. So if this old idea of cardio fitness was true, you'd be able to train hard freedive training, and you'd train everything. There wouldn't be anything more you could train. You could go straight from that to cycling. Or if you train really hard at football, for instance, you train really hard at football, you wouldn't need to do freedive training per se, strength and conditioning for freediving, because you'd already done it in the football. It doesn't work like that. Okay, but what it does, which means there's certain things that in a freediving training session you can't do. Certain movements, certain actions, certain muscle groups that you can't train. Same with football. There's certain things in football you can't train. Right? So I really recommend people mix it up. Okay? I wouldn't suggest CrossFit. That's not, as I've looked into it, it's not quite as good as it cracks up to be. Some CrossFit instructors are better than others, obviously, but for me, it's not the big one for me. But mixing it up, so doing one exercise for outside freediving to train those muscle groups that you kind of don't train in freediving. But equally well, it's a mental thing as well. So you really, the more you train, the more you learn new activities, the more new skills, the better at learning skills you are. Okay? So learning a new sport helps you learn freediving. Learning a new sport builds those muscles that you don't train in freediving, but they may help with freediving. You may not be able to train them in freediving, but they may help. So just being stronger as a human being is going to help you freediving. So I suggest you take up another sport outside freediving, but more than that, it gives you more opportunity to train and gives you a breath of fresh air, so to speak. So for me, I wouldn't go for single-sided sports like racket sports where you're really working one side of the body. I would go for things like caving, for jiu-jitsu, things that use in your entire body. And however many people out there watching, I guarantee about 80% of them are going, "Oh, Marcus is suggesting jiu-jitsu." Yeah, I do. That's why I do it. That's why I do jiu-jitsu, because I think it's good for all body workout. Caving. Oh, Marcus is suggesting caving. Yeah, I do, and that's why I do it, and that's why I suggest it. So there's no surprises there. But there's many other sports out there that you can use the entire body, for. So that's what I'd suggest you do. Get some other exercise. Now, just as a point, we had these Top Trumps made a few years ago. These Top Trumps, NoTanx Top Trumps cards. And they each have one of our trips on them, and we rate them with fun, cost, diving, adventure and weather, and you play the cards like normal Top Trumps card. Now I found a few sets. I think I've got 3 sets left, so I'm going to do a giveaway. So if you put your comments down the bottom, as I've asked you to do earlier, which is pick 2 words and link them both ways. So 2 words on each other. First line, link one to the other. Second line, link the second to the first. And I'm going to randomly pick 3 people and contact you, and you're going to get a free set of NoTanx Top Trumps cards. So I'll pick them over the weekend. So I'll give you a couple of days to do that. Last night I said I was going to talk about the standard O2 and CO2 training tables and why they're not quite as they're cracked up to be, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to write down here because I know somebody's going to ask me about CrossFit and why I don't shout about it or rave about it as much as maybe other people do. The same with the standard O2 and CO2 tables. So standard O2 and CO2 tables, they were invented by Aaron Solomon. Again, thank you very much, Aaron Solomon, in the 80s and early 90s. And very, very simple. You have 2 tables. The first one is allegedly to train your tolerance to high carbon dioxide, and the other table is to train your tolerance to low O2. Now, they're good because you can get an app for them, and you type in your numbers and you press go, and the app just tells you what to do. Hold your breath, breathe up, relax, etc., etc. I see what Kira's saying. 8 o'clock, we've got an NHS clap out the front of the house. Or clap in. Don't go out of the house, stay in the house, but clap. So I've got to finish in 5 minutes or so. Okay, so O2 and CO2 tables. They're very good because you can get them on your phone, and they're very easy to use. unfortunately, they don't do what they say they're trying to do. I won't explain how they're set up. They're very easy to find and very easy to find the app for it. But there's two sets of tables, one for high carbon dioxide. They don't kind of increase your carbon dioxide levels very much. Much easier is to run up and down the stairs 3 times, sit on the floor, hold your breath. It will be insanely difficult. Why? Because your CO2 levels are through the roof. And as if you do the candle blows before it, as we've said, you're going to have enough O2. You're going to have enough oxygen because 3 candle blows pretty much oxygenates all the blood. And everybody gets roughly 99% oxygen, blood oxygenation. So 3 candle blows, you're not going to have low O2, but you're going to have super high carbon dioxide. So if you want CO2 training, run up and down the stairs twice, hold your breath. Or skip, another exercise we do, skip for 3 minutes, do the last 30 seconds breath hold. That's it. That's high carbon dioxide training. Super easy, super hard. Low O2 training is a lot harder to do because most people's urge to breathe comes with carbon dioxide, not with O2. So the only way I suggest you can do low O2 training is to use the cycle of 4. So if you've been doing some of the exercises earlier in the week with lazy tables, once you've done them a few times, we'll put up the cycle of 4. I'll send it over to you as a PDF. Okay, so what I would like to describe, and I've got like 3 minutes to do it, is the Zany tables. I said I'd do it, so here's your breath hold homework to do some Zany tables. Zany tables, I will explain how to do them now, and I'll explain why they work tomorrow. So I would really like you to do some Zany table walks. Okay, so Zany tables, you want to walk for 20 minutes or stationary bike for 20 minutes. It's beautiful on a stationary bike. And you keep moving. Okay, keep the heart rate high. If you've got heart rate monitor, that's fantastic. You want to keep your heart rate maybe 100, 105. Okay, and you keep cycling 3 candle blows, then empty lung for something in the order of 12 cycles or of the pedals, or 12 double paces. So remember, you only count the right foot. 1, 2. Okay, so something like 12 paces. You can get up to 18 paces. Some people do up to 18 paces. 3 candle blows, empty lung, 12 paces. Keep it going. Zany tables. They are very difficult. They're very easy. They should be, not very easy. They should be easy-ish for the first couple of minutes. Then there's 2 minutes where they're really hard, and then the next 15 minutes, sometimes it'll be hard, sometimes it'll be easy. Sometimes it'll be hard, sometimes it'll be easy. If they're all easy and you're doing 12 paces, you need to do a few more paces. Okay? If they're all hard and you're doing 12 paces or 15 paces, whatever it is you're doing, and they're all hard right from the start, you want to drop it back. So you've got to do it maybe a couple of times to really get the number for you. So very simple. You can do it on a stationary bike at home, or if you want to go for a walk in the park, that's fine. You just walk out for 10 minutes, turn around, walk back for 10 minutes. Easy. Okay. So that's 12 paces empty lung at pace. Okay, so you're not just poodling along, you're doing it at pace because you need to keep the heart rate up 100, 105 beats per minute. And yeah, that's it. 12 paces, empty lung, 3 candle blows, 12 paces, empty lung. And tomorrow I'll explain why the Zany tables are so good. Okay, so that's it for me. That's it. We've got the clap out now, so I can hear it happening. See you later.